Well, how has it been today here in Belfast and yesterday? Have you had fun?
I have had an absolute blast. I was just telling you backstage, I love conventions, man. I've been coming to conventions since I was 13 years old, dressed as Spock, and like my cosplay was perfect. I had like a tunic that my sister helped me sew. I had like a phaser, had pointed ears that were perfect, and a big blonde afro because I couldn't control my hair. But all the girls wanted to talk to me because I had such a good communicator and phaser. So I was like, I love this.
I wish we had a picture of that to put on the big screen of you as Spock.
No.
No. Is it on social media anywhere?
All been destroyed. No.
No evidence of you as Spock. Well, I'm so glad that you mentioned cosplay because we have an amazing cosplay stage. It's actually located in Logan Hall. But tell us about the Buffy cosplay or any sort of cosplay that's involved you. How does that feel when someone makes the time and effort to create a character like yours?
I love it. It makes me wish I could cosplay as Spike again.
Why not?
Like, man, that coat looks amazing. I would look great in that coat. I just can't wear one. People would think I was insane.
Yeah. It's also unfair because like you're him, so that's a little unfair. Well, we've had so many great guests here today and yesterday. We've talked to people from, Vampire Diaries, and last time we had Cobra Kai with a lot of different genres. What are you currently watching? What are you enjoying on TV or film?
I'm digging on She-Hulk.
Okay.
Awesome. I'm actually watching Breaking Bad for the first time.
I've never seen it.
I'm horrible. I'm like a bad boyfriend. Like years ago, I saw the first couple episodes of Breaking Bad and I was like, that is amazing. Oh, wait a minute, there's a video game I want to play. I'm like a gamer. So like even if I think the show is awesome, I don't normally finish it.
Yeah.
But then Ms. Marvel, that is incredible. That and there's only like 8 episodes, so before there's a video game, I can finish the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Ms. Marvel is my favorite of all of the Marvel shows so far. Yeah, it's
I
like
love that.
Spider-Man, but with a girl. Yeah.
With a girl, with a lady. So we actually have a gaming area right back here. Me being from the wrestling world, I saw N64 No Mercy, and I thought that was hilarious. We've got kind of retro games and new games. What games is James Marsters playing? Like, what are you into?
I am playing BioShock right now on my Switch because I'm on the road. Yeah, BioShock is a really good subversive video game. Mm-hmm. Like, the first one was like a takedown of libertarian politics, which is like a certain brand of very right-wing. It's basically like rich people don't want there to be any government so that they can have all the power. That's libertarianism. So there's a takedown of that. And anyway, I love it. And then I'm playing The Last of Us Part 1, which is the remake of Last of Us on my PS5.
Yes.
Back home.
Any gamers in here? Yes. They're loving that. Well, just so you know, if you're just joining us for the first time, guys, I'm going to ask a couple questions, and then get your questions ready. You can raise your hand.
Yeah, and you guys can ask me anything that you want.
See that?
Like, if you think you can embarrass me, bring it.
Uh-oh.
It's impossible. I'm shameless. Yeah, do your
Laying
worst.
down the gauntlet.
Do your worst.
Yes. Well,
Everyone is like, what's wrong with... What happened to your British accent? I'm like, what's wrong with the American one? It's not so hot, really.
Oh, yeah.
It's not nice at all.
I see that, yeah. Do you ever get kind of stuck switching back and forth, like, oops, I'm not supposed to be British today. Oops.
No. I usually go, no, I'm only British if you pay me. Okay.
It's good advice, good advice. Well, we have some questions already. I see some hands going up. This is my buddy Dave right here. Dave has the microphone. Give it up for Dave. So put your hand up and meet Dave in the middle of the aisle there. If you have a question, we'll get a little pile of you guys going there. Quick question from me, though. So loving Buffy the Vampire Slayer and loving vampires in general, 2 questions from me. First of all, what sort of iterations of vampires before Buffy were you into? Was it Interview with the Vampire, old school Dracula?
Frank Langella in Dracula. Like, everyone thinks of Frank Langella as this, like, really great actor who's an old man. But back in the 70s, he came out with a Dracula. He was bomb sexy, man.
Yeah.
He was a young man. He rocked Dracula. Absolutely rocked it. Yeah.
And you just said then my next question, because we talked about this with the Vampire Diaries cast yesterday. It got a little weird, but in a good way. I won't look at you while I ask this. Why are vampires so sexy? What's sexy about vampires?
Well, they're a metaphor for hunger. Psychological hunger, sexual hunger, physical hunger. And I think that there's something about taking what you want that's very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said. Very classy answer. I appreciate that. We have a question here in the middle. Hello.
David Boreanaz does a horrendous Irish accent.
Oh, wow. Unforgivably bad. Yeah.
So bad.
So sorry for him.
Now we know
yeah.
that your British one is pretty good.
Yeah.
How about trying an Irish one?
No way in hell.
Yeah, no pressure.
In Belfast, I'm gonna get clubbed. Yeah. No, like, it's really, like, if you do an accent, you've got to do it well, or it's disrespectful, you know? And I could give you some Lucky Charms thing. Like, okay, this is funny, actually. So I was doing, which was that show? Hawaii Five-0. So I'm doing Hawaii Five-0, and I'm playing this character called Victor Hess, who's the guy that shoots the lead's dad in the pilot. And I auditioned as an Englishman, and we're like about to shoot the first scene. I'm in Hawaii, and I'm talking to the producer, and I'm like, "Are you sure this guy's English? His last name is Hess. Don't you want me to do a German accent?" You know, I think it would be like a German accent I can pull out of I can do this. I used to date a German, so I can do this. Also, I'm not in Germany, so no one will, club me. But, so he goes, well, no, actually, it's a fake name because you're a spy. So you could be of anything at all. In fact, what accents can you do? And I was like, I can do anything you'd cast me for. What do you got? What do you want? And he goes, how about Belfast? Which is one of the hardest accents, one of the hardest white boy accents that there is in the world. And like, I should have pulled up and said, actually, maybe not Belfast. Let's do something else. My pride got me, and I said, sure. And they killed me off in 2 episodes. If I'd have been smarter or a better actor, I'd be in Hawaii right now.
Good question. Thank you. Got another one here.
So first of all, hi.
Hello.
I've grown up watching you. My parents love you, so hi. My question is, if you could play any other character in Buffy, which would it be and why?
If I could play any other character other than Spike,
Yeah. Like,
how about Spike?
you go from no.
I don't want to play any character. Are you kidding me? Like, okay, so like the writers, am I in the light? So the writers, they'd be up in the writing room, right? And they would have costumes for each of the characters. So they had a leather coat up there. And what they would do to write the dialogue is they would put on the costume. Someone would be Buffy, someone would be Giles, someone would be Spike. And they would improvise and then write down the improvised dialogue. And they'd get a lot of good ideas that way. All of the writers were fighting over the coat, because the people who wrote it thought that Spike was the most fun character to play. So that's why I got the best dialogue. I wouldn't change places with Buffy. Hell no.
Part 2 of the question, right? So you go from being good to bad to good to bad. Which is your favorite persona of Spike to play?
Evil. Oh my God. Like, I've played a few heroes, and it sucks to play a hero. When I'm playing a hero, I'm always like running all day long, running on the set, trying to save everybody, and everyone's like complaining that I'm not saving them fast enough, and I'm like dredging up some childhood guilt so the story has weight and everything. When you play a villain, you're just like sat about in the shadows lurking. That's your job. And then the hero comes sweating by and worrying by, and you jump out of the shadows, you pop him in the head, you go home. It's a lot easier. And also, like, I try to be a nice person in real life, which I think is the art of not telling everyone what I'm thinking all the time. How many nice people are in like, everybody's pretty much a nice person here, right? No hands. We're evil. No, but you guys know what I mean. You try to give the world your better self. And so, like, you meet a difficult person, and you do the right thing, and you get out of the situation. You go home, you're like, oh, I should have said this. Oh, I should have said that. When you play a villain, you get to say all of that. It's so fun. Yeah, villain.
That's fair. Another question right here.
Hi, James. How are you?
I'm good.
I just want to say a happy belated 60th birthday.
Thank you.
For someone that turned 60, you look fantastic.
Thank
So
you.
my question is, this is the second time you've come to Ireland. The last time was Dublin Comic Con in 2019. Any chance you'd be able to come over to Ireland with the band to perform, because you're also a fantastic singer? That would be incredible.
I would love to. This is the problem. The band is Ghost of the Robot, and this is the problem with Ghost of the Robot. So when we got together, I'm standing up because I want everyone to see me, because you guys are like on a flat. So when we first got together in 2001, 3 of us were in high school, and I told the parents, I was like, we're not going to take anybody out of school to do this band. Don't worry, I'm not going to, ruin their lives for this band. And by the time they got out of high school, 2 of them went on to college, and so we had to wait for that. And then by the time they got out of college, we got a new guy who was in high school. And now he's in college. So that, combined with my other career as an actor, like, we had a whole European tour, and that I bagged out of because I got a really good role in a show called Witches of East End. And I just at the last minute was like, sorry, I got to act. The band was like, So touring has always kind of been a problem, to tell you the truth. But we would love to come here. Yeah, big time. Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, Harlequin.
So who was your favorite character that you played, and why? And how did you feel like being that character?
I have played so many characters that I've had a blast playing, but I gotta say, it's probably Spike, just because Spike was the hardest. Like, in the beginning, it was really easy. I was talking about being a villain, and I didn't care about anybody. I just had to beat people up, and that was pretty easy. But then, toward like season 4 and 5 and 6, it got really dicey. And especially after I got a soul. Oh no, spoiler alert. Anyone not seen Buffy? Sorry. Too late. But, so I got a soul, and I had to like feel things. I had to dredge up a lot of things to play that character, and it got really scary, frankly. But that's where I like to be. Like I don't learn anything when I'm comfortable or when I'm safe. I only learn anything when I'm uncomfortable or outside of my comfort zone. And Spike took me well outside of my comfort zone. And so I look back on that, and I'm like really proud that I stuck to it and gave it everything I had, even though it was pretty scary for quite a while, actually. So I think Spike, because it terrified me.
Yes, well said. Another question right here.
Hey, Storm.
How did it feel like getting into being Spike?
How did it feel getting into playing Spike?
Yeah.
Like, do you mean like the audition or just like getting into character?
Yeah, like getting into character.
Horrifyingly easy. Like, something about, like, there's a Spike in me. He's not funny, and I don't think he's a person that you want to have dinner with. He's all the darker parts of me that I generally don't let out into the world. But playing Spike, I realized, like, oh my God, there's a lot of darkness in here. Because right away, from the very first shot that they filmed me, I sunk into that character, and I knew exactly what to do with him from the very beginning, which was weird because Spike was a character that was having a blast murdering people. So like after that first day, I felt really guilty. I was like, why is this so easy? I'm a more conflicted person than I thought that I was. So just effortless, absolutely effortless. And I still feel a little weird about that.
Hiya.
Hello. You did say we could ask anything. Yeah. How soft are John Barrowman's lips?
Oh, love, that's an easy one.
I figured it would.
Deliciously soft. I bit him on the first take. I bit him, you know, and he was offended. He's like, "You bit me?" And I'm like, "Well, I haven't seen you for 300 years. Come here."
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Nice try. No, but you know, in all seriousness, I'm not that comfortable doing kissing, love scenes, naked scenes, all that stuff. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a private thing. Like, have you guys ever had the nightmare where you're like, you have no clothes and everyone else has clothes? We've all had that nightmare. I lived that, you know? So whenever there's like that kind of thing that I'm going to be doing, it really is about, do I trust the other person to help me get through an uncomfortable day? And I got to say, I love John Barrowman. He is amazing. I trust him with my life. We've done a lot of stunts together. And I would kiss him in a heartbeat. I'd probably kiss him before anyone else I've ever kissed. Like, I trust that guy. So, John, baby.
This is going to go viral, I can just tell. They're going to pull this clip and tag him.
What's up?
Hi. Sorry, I can't believe I'm talking to Spike. I was just wondering.
Would it help you if I'd give you my Ukrainian accent? Then it's not Spike. No, not so sexy.
You're still Spike.
Okay.
So I was just wondering who your favorite person was on set. So whenever you were in Buffy, obviously with Spike, that's how I know you.
Say that again, babe?
Who was your favorite person on the set of Buffy? So did you have a really good friend or somebody that you
Yeah.
went with?
So many of them are cool. Like, first of all, Sarah was amazing. Like, if anyone but her had played Buffy, it would not have lasted for 7 years. Because we filmed up to 20 hours a day on Buffy. Like, normally a TV show films for 12 hours. They always film for 12 hours. But after 12 hours, you have to pay the crew double, so they don't go 1 minute after 12. But Buffy, 16, 18, 20-hour days all the time. And she was in almost every scene. Like, I got burnt to a crisp, but I was only in like a third or a quarter of the scenes. She was burnt toast. And yet, she was always on time. She always knew her lines. She was always ready to go. She always had a good attitude. She was unflagging. And most actors would have crumbled, I'll be honest. I probably would have crumbled myself. But my favorite person to work with was Tony Head. Yeah. Yeah. He taught me whatever I do know about film acting, I learned from Tony Head. Because I came to Los Angeles from doing theater, which is a whole different acting. It's apples and oranges. Film acting and theater acting are completely different. And I was very proud of being a theater actor, because I was really successful doing theater. And I remember when I first shot with Tony, because in theater it's a little bigger. You like take the stage, you know. And I'm shooting with Tony, and he's mumbling. "Oh, Spike, it's can be a smell." And I'm like, "Man, would you wake up? I'll get you a cup of coffee because I'm gonna rule. I'm gonna mop the floor with you in this scene, man." And we filmed it, and then I saw, and the only person that wasn't lying was Giles. Like, the only person I really wanted to watch was Giles. He was honest. And I realized I had to relearn how to act. And so I went to the school of Tony Head. And I would just come to the set, whether or not I was in the scene, and I would sit on a little box and watch Tony work. And he taught me everything. Also, he's just the nicest guy in the world. Yeah, Tony Head.
Hi.
Hello.
When you first read the script that Spike was going to start pining after Buffy, how did you feel? And is there any other ending you would have preferred other than becoming a puppy vampire instead of a big bad?
Yeah, I remember. So how did I feel when I found out that Buffy and I were going to bump boots, basically? Right. So I had come to think of Sarah as my kid sister. I was like 10 years older than her. And we got to know her. We loved each other. We drove each other crazy sometimes. We were like brother and sister in my mind. And so I went to the producers You remember Mark Balukas, Riley? And I went up to them and I was like, guys, if you want to take my shirt off, can you give me some prep time? Because like it's one thing to look good in a t-shirt, it's a whole different universe to look good on film with your shirt off. And I was like, I can give that to you, but I need about 3 months to get ready. So please give me some lead time because I don't want you to Mark Balukas me. Because that guy, he had no warning, you know, and that's what you're going to get from any actor if you just say, oh, next week you're taking your shirt off. Like, that's what you're going to get. It's like the amount of definition that you need to look good on film is way beyond what it would take to look good in life because the camera just, like, it bleaches out detail, basically. So they said, oh, I'm glad that you asked. The summer is coming up. You have your 3 months because you're going to fall in love with Buffy. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Of course, she never falls in love with me. That would be ridiculous. And they were like, oh, no, she's going to fall for you too. You guys are going to have a lot of love scenes. And I was like, Buffy's a hero. I'm evil. I'm killing people for fun, man. Like, you know. And so that we started that season, and I was feeling really weird because I couldn't shake this feeling that Sarah was my kid's sister, and they were going to have me kiss my kid's sister. I was like, ugh, you know. And I came to set one day, and she was finishing up the scene, one of the scenes where she was in the Burger Palace. What was Double Meat Palace? What was the name of that thing? Double Meat Palace? Oh, I got it right. Okay. And, you know, she's got that ridiculous hat, and she's at the drive-thru, and she's playing the scene. So I'm watching Buffy, basically. And I'm aware that Buffy just got back from heaven, and now she's on Earth, which is like hell to her now. She's suddenly like a mother because Dawn is there. Her mother's dead, and now she's got to raise Dawn, so she's got to work at Burger Palace, Double Meat Palace. She's a superhero serving burgers, but she's not complaining. And she's taking all the abuse that people take in the drive-through window, and she's trying to be polite. And I kind of fell in love with Buffy at that point, you know? And so I'm just like, and I found my in. I was like, oh, Sarah can remain my kid sister. It's Buffy that I fall in love with. Now I get it. And so I'm staring at Buffy like this. And she turns around, she goes, what? It's the hat, isn't it? Damn it, James. Everyone's making fun of me for the hat today. I thought you'd be different. Damn it. She storms off, and I just couldn't say, baby, I just fell in love with you. I can't even tell you. Oh, my God. So, yeah, it was a bit of a process to get into that. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey.
I know you've done the audiobooks for Dresden Files, but if they ever made a live-action series, would you be interested in playing Harry?
Of Dresden?
Yeah.
Oh, well, if I was 6'5", yeah. Or maybe, like if they could have Peter Jackson direct it and they could Gandalf me. But, like, Harry is a tall character. That's part of the whole deal. Maybe I could be Bob.
You know, that would be an easy job. I'll just do the voiceover for it. Harry, let me out of here. I want to go to a strip club. Come on.
I would love to play Harry. I would absolutely love to play Harry. It's just I don't know how tall shoes can you make a man, you know?
Just get the ones Tom Cruise uses.
Yeah, or just like hire a bunch of short-ass actors for everybody else.
Thank you. Great question. Got one more back here.
Hello. What kind of video games do you play?
What kind of what?
Video games.
Oh, wow. Everything that's not on PC. Like, I'm not a PC gamer. I'm like a PlayStation, Xbox console player. So, and I kind of have enough money to buy what I want, so I like to buy everything. So like I said, I'm currently playing Last of Us. Before, you know how summer is kind of a dry period for video games? So I'm always going back and playing video games that I enjoyed before. So I went through Arkham. First I played Arkham Knight again, and then I went to Arkham, the original Arkham, and then I went to Arkham City, played those 3 games. I played all of Uncharted again because those are amazing games. That kind of got me through the summer. And what's coming up? Like there's some stuff coming up. I forget. Like I pre-ordered everything, you know. What do you play?
Anaheim.
Which one?
Fortnite.
Oh, Fortnite. Okay, so you're better than me. Okay. I don't play multiplayer. I do not play because I'm not good enough, and I just get teabagged all day, and I'm just like, that's not fun. Like I want to play against a computer that is specifically programmed to let me win. And if I'm losing, I'm like, oh, really, bitches? I got the easy button. Options, difficulty, easy. You're dead now. And boom. Yeah. So, yeah, I can't play multi. I can't last more than 4 seconds, man. Like, I was playing with my friend when we were in Battlefront, the Star Wars multiplayer, and it was basically, can you last more than 4 seconds? And so we would spawn in, and one of us would be like, 1,000, 2, you're gone. Give me the controller. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Boom! Damn it! You know. So yeah, we couldn't even make 4 seconds. So yeah, you would cream me in Fortnite. Humiliate me.
Thank you.
Oh gosh, I'm gone nervous. What was your favorite season in Buffy to film versus your favorite season to watch?
Good question. Yeah, I think my favorite to film was 2.
2?
Yeah, just because I was a successful theater actor, but that meant that I was very poor. Very poor. Like there was one year where I ate oatmeal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for months because I could afford nothing else. And I became a father. And I was a very, very poor father. And that's not a good place to be. And I went down to Los Angeles to try to prostitute myself so I could feed this boy that I just had. And I lucked into Buffy. And like I said before, right from the beginning, I could play that character really well. It just clicked. And there was this dawning sense that I was not poor anymore, that I was going to be able to get this kid to college and give him new clothes and raise him the way that I think that he deserved to be raised. And so it was a very intense period for me. And also, I mean, like, they made me so cool. Like, I kept being like, I can't believe they let me play this role. And then to watch, I think that the show kind of peaked in season 5. I think that was where we peaked. And 6 and 7 are still really good, but I think the show was climbing up the mountain in quality, and it really kind of got there in 5 at the high point. Yeah.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Good question. We've got time for just a few more. Hiya.
Hello.
Hello.
A bit of a double-pronged question.
Okay.
I think we can get the impression that maybe School Hard Spike was your favorite.
Yep.
That answers that, okay. And what would you say is your favorite episode? There's so many. Something Blue, Once More with Feeling was unreal. What would be your, either to watch or to act?
Can I pick more than one?
Yes.
Okay. The Body, because I think that the show proved that they didn't need vampires. They didn't need special effects. They didn't need stunts. They didn't even need music. It was strong enough dramatically that you could just show a young woman losing her mom. What was the one? Fool for Love was really fun because I got to do a lot of stunts in Fool for Love. I got to fight Bruce Lee's second cousin. Ming Lee played the Slayer in the Boxer Rebellion in China, and Ming Lee is about that tall, and she is the deadliest human on earth. Like, widely regarded in Hollywood as the deadliest stunt woman or stunt person in all of Hollywood. And thank God she's a nice person, is all I can say. Like, we had swords, and I was super excited to get a sword because I know how to do sword work, but I never got to on Buffy because I had fangs. I didn't need a sword. But for some reason, we had swords. And I was in heaven. I'm like, Ming, check it out, man. And I'm like flourishing around her, and I'm like, I'm ready to go, baby. And I got kind of close to her face, and she just kind of went, really? And she just went, bam! like right up in my nose, like boom, 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 boom. I was like, Ming, 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 sorry, oh my God. But she was lightning fast, liquid, so graceful and so powerful, just amazing. I got to fight her again on Runaways. She was doubling somebody, and I was doing my own stuff, and she hadn't lost a step. 20 years later, she was just as fast as she ever was, and I was like, Ming, slow down. You have not aged, but I have a little bit, so please. And then the musical, because I think that the theme of Buffy is don't give up. Like, life hurts, it's a challenge, but it's worth it. Keep going. And the truth is, we were terrified when we got word that we were doing a musical. We thought that the show was being ruined, that it was being flushed down a toilet, because we didn't get a script at first. We just got a cassette of Joss singing the songs. And Joss is not a good singer at all. And so, they sounded cheesy. It was just him plunking away on the piano, and we were just we all got this cassette at lunch break, and I remember we all came out of our trailer about the same time with the cassette in our hands going, does anybody know what the hell's going on? What the hell? And so I was comfortable singing. Tony Head was comfortable singing. We were already doing that publicly, but the rest of them were like, I'm not a singer. What are you doing to me? Like, Sarah asked if she could juggle chainsaws. Like, that will be easier for my career than this. And so we all tried to get out of it for different reasons. I just thought that the music was bad because it was the Joss thing. And it became apparent at some point that we weren't going to get out of it. And we got to work. And a bunch of people hired vocal coaches and dance coaches on their own dime. They paid for it themselves. And they got ready. And we started filming. And even though we were sure that we were going to go down in flames and the show was going to be humiliated and ruined, we decided to go down swinging and not give up. And basically, for 1 week, we lived up to the theme. And that's why it's my favorite episode. Yeah.
Do you remember the words?
Let me rest in peace. Let me get some sleep. Let me take my love and bury it in a hole 6 foot deep. I can lay my body down, but I can't find my sweet release. Let me rest in peace. No, I don't remember it at all. No. It's so easy to make people happy when you've been on television.
That was
Wild.
awesome. Thank you for that.
Thank you, man.
One more question here.
Hi. How was it to work in Angel? Because you had worked with David before, but how was it to work with different people? And Spike and Fred had a really good relationship. Did you have really good fun with Fred and David again?
Yeah, that cast was so amazing. It was a very similar experience because the directors were all the same, the writers were the same, the producers were the same. I'd worked with David before. So it was very similar. We only worked for 12 hours a day on Angel, so people were complaining they were getting tired. I'm like, oh, you don't even know, baby. These are minimum days. But really, I enjoyed being a jerk again. On Buffy, in the beginning, I was just the biggest jerk, and I was like, Buffy, you stupid, we're all gonna die, And then I fell in love with Buffy, and it became, oh, Buffy, would you like a cup of tea? Oh, take my seat, Buffy. Huh? Would you like my coat, Buffy? And I just didn't get to do that anymore. And then I got over on Angel. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Spike annoying, Dave, you annoying. Spike annoying Angel was just the best part.
Yeah, it's my job is to ruin your day. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Right on. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Felicia, and I just want to say before I ask a question, Buffy the Vampire Slayer literally saved my life. I was in a very dark place, so I just want to say thank you so much.
Man, thank you for that. Hell yeah. I feel you. For me, it was Star Trek. I had a really rough time growing up. I wasn't in a good house, I'll be honest. And I ran to Star Trek because Star Trek was basically selling hope, that we might survive ourselves, that we might graduate and not kill the planet before we get into space, basically. And so it was basically a hopeful place to be. And I would go back there. I watched those episodes 100 times each, man. So I get you. I'm really glad. If I was part of something that did that for you, like just made my day.
Thank you. What is your most favorite, most beautiful moment in filming Buffy and Angel?
Oh, God, there was so many. One of my favorites is the very end. You know, when she goes, I love you, and he goes, no, you don't, but thanks for saying it. Because what I was thinking was that for the first time, Spike is self-aware. And he's basically saying, Buffy, you can't love me. I am beneath you, in fact. I now have a soul, and now I'm really clearly looking at what I was doing, and I was horrible. And I'm just freshly born, and I haven't done anything really good yet. I mean, you're attracted to me because, of course, but you can't love me. But what that meant to me was that gave me hope that Spike could be redeemed, because he finally realized that he needed to be redeemed. And he was gonna, in my little head, Spike was gonna go out into the world, figure out what to do with the soul of his, and once he thought he was ready for her, he was coming back there, and they were gonna get married, man. And then I read the comic books. Bing! I was right. Suck it, Angel, she's mine. Good.
I believe you would have been back.
What's that?
I believe you would have been back in the comics.
Yeah. Well, they're written by a lot of the same writers that wrote the show, so it's canon. And in the comic books, Buffy and I are a couple. Yeah. Damn straight.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Thank you so much. We have time for one final question. Just one more. Sorry, guys. Oh,
I'll be quick. There's only 3.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's okay with
we'll
you?
get to everybody. Yeah.
We'll do it.
Yeah,
Look, and I've forgotten what I was even going to ask. So I'll just ask, will you marry me? I just got to propose to Spike from Buffy!
Oh my God. You rock, girl.
Yeah, that's it.
But I'm not yet divorced.
You did say anything.
I'm almost divorced, but not quite yet. You gotta wait just a few more months.
There's still time then.
Bless your heart. Oh my God.
That deserves a round of applause. You did say ask anything.
Hell yeah.
That's all you.
Hell yeah.
Well, she stole my question, so I'll ask another one. You'd mentioned you had the easiest time growing up, and I just wondered, how did you get the confidence to do everything, even standing up here? I don't know how you do it. Just to pursue your acting and singing too.
You know, I had a pretty good dad, but I never really saw him very much. But when I did, he really filled me with love. And so that gave me the confidence, I think, to start acting. And then once I started acting, I don't know why, but it worked right away. And so, like, my family would be eating each other alive for dinner. I'd be like, I'm going to rehearsal, guys, have fun, you know? And so acting really saved me completely. And it just, because I started so early. I started when I was like 10 years old. And so I kind of grew up on stage, and that kind of became my reality. And really, theater is a group of people who are functioning harmoniously, even though they're all freaks. You know, theater people are wonderful, weird people, but they come together to try to con the audience into accepting a gift, which is the story. So we're con men, and you guys are our rubes, man. You're our marks, but we're not trying to take anything. We're trying to give you something. And that reality, that's the one I grew up in. And that saved me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great question.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thank you for being so patient and amazing with the fans. And as evident today, you have changed people's lives with your amazing, brilliant performances. So please show your love for James
Thank you, guys.
Marsters.
You guys are freaking awesome. I love you.
Thank you so much. He's heading back to the autograph and photo area so you can meet James in person.